Hello and welcome to episode 7 of Life Without Limits, the podcast series. Today we get a chance to have a wonderful conversation with one of our Bailey Medical Center employees who underwent the bariatric journey herself. Today, Christina Ridgway is going to talk with us about her experiences, what she saw as she went through the program, and her future as a bariatric patient. So stay tuned, and you're going to learn firsthand from someone that's taken this journey how it can transform your life. Hi, everybody. I want to welcome you to this podcast. We're grateful to have you listening in. My name is Russell View. I'm the bariatric liaison here at the Center for Bariatrics at Bailey Medical Center. Joining us today, we have Christina Ridgway. And Christina, will you take a moment to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you.
Hi, thank you for having me. My name is Christina Ridgway. I'm 30 years old. I was born and raised here in Oklahoma, and I work at Bailey Medical Center in the Patient Access Department.
Awesome. Very good. So I want you to take a moment and tell us when you had that aha moment, when you said, I'm going to change things. I'm looking at the bariatric program. Tell us what that was for you.
I'm very lucky to have such a unique perspective as both a patient and employee for Bailey Medical Center. About 4 years ago, I switched from working overnights at the ER desk to day shift admitting. And I'd always been really curious about weight loss surgery, but I never thought it was going to be for me. Thought it was risky, too expensive. But then I really started interacting with our bariatric patients. And there was one gentleman in particular, I was able to check in from his very first chest x-ray all the way to his follow-up labs. And I got to see this beautiful transformation. And I wanted that for myself. So I took the time to do some research and really look into it. And I just made the decision. I jumped right in.
Describe Bailey, the staff, the program, the Bailey people and community for me, will you?
Bailey is an incredible place. You can tell from the moment you walk into your initial appointment that the bariatric clinic and the staff really want you to succeed, that they're on your side the entire time. It's very welcoming.
What was a challenge that you found yourself facing, whether it was like, the food logs, exercise, that type of thing, and how did you overcome it?
I think I struggled the most with keeping the food log before surgery. You are provided all of the resources you need in order to keep a proper log. But for me, it was facing the truth that this is what I was putting in my body. And I wasn't giving myself what I needed to be healthy. Once I truly decided that I was ready to make this big decision and change my life, keeping the food log became so much easier.
Is that right? Very good. Very good. What motivated you to keep going to the follow-up appointments after surgery?
For me, it's really important to embrace the entire program, including the follow-up visits. I want to keep track for myself and for the patients I interact with daily to help answer questions. I actually just set up my 9-month follow-up today.
Oh, is that right? Yep. Very good. So it was 9 months ago, basically, that you had your bariatric surgery here.
Yes.
Okay. Do you mind sharing with us which procedure you had and why that was the one that was best for you?
I discussed with Dr. Varnell the different options, and we decided that the Roux-en-Y surgery would be the best for me.
So 9 months ago, you and Dr. Varnell, one of our bariatric surgeons, sat down in a consultation one-on-one, discussed your situation, your medical conditions, your family history, all of that plays a role. And then you put your heads together and determine the Roux-en-Y gastric bypass would be the best procedure for you. The other procedures that we perform all the time is the sleeve, the vertical sleeve gastrectomy. So that's excellent. Share with me your greatest non-scale victory.
I have a non-scale victory almost every week. But my most recent was I went to a friend's wedding and I felt confident enough to not only wear a dress, but wear heels too. And before surgery, there's no way I would have worn high heels. So it was really cool to be able to dress up and feel pretty for once.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. Now, side note here. Have you gone out and just bought a whole new wardrobe for yourself?
No, not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
I'm not quite where I want to be yet.
Okay, so you have that in mind.
Yes.
Okay, very
just
good.
A piece at a time.
Right. I've had patients in the past share with me. One lady comes to mind, and she said, oh, my husband loves that I've gone through this, and he just compliments me every day. The only thing he doesn't like is the number of shoes I now own. And it was something about shoes for her because before surgery, she said she couldn't fit in the pretty shoes she liked or the heels that she wanted and things like that. How did you manage the process leading up to surgery? Can you tell me about any challenges or parts you like most, that kind of thing?
I was mostly surprised at how easy the entire process was leading up to surgery. I expected the pre-op testing to be way harder than it was. I had never had a stress test before or an EGD, so it was a little scary at first, but every test went smooth. The techs were able to answer all of my questions and concerns. The only challenge I had was kind of a fairly funny one. On the days right before surgery, someone in the department bought donuts, and I cried. Well, my coworkers ate donuts, but it's kind of funny looking back on that now because I don't even want donuts now.
Yeah, so. At no point are donuts on the bariatric diet.
Not at all.
Right, okay. What was your personal support group like? Did you have any people that tried to talk you out of it as far as friends and family went? And if so, how did you overcome that?
I am very blessed to have a super supportive family, and I met an amazing group of friends post-surgery. I'm grateful for everyone who's been there with me through this entire journey. I did have a little bit of negative support that I had to deal with. Leading up, I had no problems. I got to the 2-week liquid diet. I had a boyfriend at the time who didn't support surgery as an option. And I don't think he ever understood that this wasn't just an elective surgery. This was a complete lifestyle change.
Right.
Ultimately, we decided it's best to go separate ways, but with every ending, there's a new beginning. And I'm proud of myself for going through with the surgery and staying strict to the post-op guidelines. Putting my health first has been the best decision I've ever made.
Okay, Christina, you mentioned earlier when I asked you about have you had support team, your family, and you mentioned that your family has just been fantastic. They've always been there for you. I want you to cite an example where a family member or a friend gave you support and how it registered with you, something that impacted you when someone was giving you support.
There was a time right before surgery, I really questioned this decision, and I talked to my dad about it, and he just told me how proud he was of me for making this choice and to put my health first. And that really solidified this decision that I was doing the right thing. And I still think about that today. He tells me he's proud of me all the time. It's so nice.
Well, he should be. And I met your father on that morning when you were going for surgery. I met your dad, and then I saw him the following day as well. And he is genuinely the nicest guy.
He's an awesome guy.
Just an awesome fellow.
I'm very lucky.
You've got a great dad there, and I love that he's supporting you through this. It's wonderful. That's awesome. That's really awesome. And, I see you most every day here in the hospital. We run into each other. And every single time I see you, man, I'm just amazed at how your transformation has gone. And you are truly the poster child. If somebody was on the fence and kind of wondering, do I want to do bariatrics or not? If they saw you, in my opinion, if they saw you before and they saw you after, they would say, oh my gosh, I can't believe she made that transformation. And you always look good, but you look so healthy now and you are so energetic. And it's amazing to know you. It really is.
Oh, thank you. It's really been a complete 180 for me.
How is your quality of life now after surgery?
It's awesome. Everything feels better. Whenever people ask me, how do I feel healthier. I feel like I've come back from the dead. I'm alive again. It feels really
Your energy
good.
level's probably through the roof.
Oh, it's crazy.
Right?
I get a lot done.
You sleep well at night?
Much better.
Okay. Yeah, I hear that a lot too. People say they rest better. You wake up feeling truly rested and energized and ready for your day.
Yeah.
Right?
I feel more confident now. More than anything. Happier and confident. That's really what I wanted from surgery, was to feel more confident. And I've definitely gotten that.
Very good. Now, you're in school too, aren't you?
I am.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I'm in school for teaching. I'm going to be a high school biology teacher in a few years.
That's awesome. All right. Very good. So, Christina, I want you to think about this for just a moment and kind of describe for me how let's say your working day has changed since you've had your surgery and you've got all this extra energy. So what was a typical day like before at work, and how does it work for you now?
I think before surgery, I would get tired really easily. I would hit lunchtime and become kind of a slug. And now I feel more energized. I can make it through the day, happier.
So it really does affect every aspect of your life in a positive way, doesn't it?
Every single aspect. Things you wouldn't even think of, it impacts.
Right. I've said this before in other podcasts, but when we talk to patients, they love to share their non-scale victories. And a non-scale victory is something other than just the weight loss, right? And I've had patients tell me things like, oh, when I tie my shoes now, the knot is in the middle. I never thought about it before I got involved in bariatrics 8 years ago. I never realized that when you're tying your shoes prior to bariatric surgery and things, people really struggle to get the knot in the middle. Or patients say, hey, I can get down on the floor to play with my grandchildren and I can get up on my own, right? We had the patient who told us that it really struck her that her entire life had changed when, following bariatric surgery, she had her little girl. I think her little girl was 4 years old. She was playing chase in the house with the little girl, and she was chasing her around, and they were going around the island in the kitchen. And she said, my daughter stopped and turned around and looked at me in amazement and said, Mommy, you can chase me now. And the patient said she just had tears well up because her little girl recognized that Mom could now play with her and interact. And it kind of just struck her. And I was like, this is why we love to do what we do. You get to be a small part in watching someone get their life back. And we love that.
Yeah, that's really amazing. It's funny, as you are going through this process of healing and becoming a different person, you'll catch those moments. Like, I was in my backyard with my dogs one day, and all of a sudden it hit me like, I wasn't going to do this before surgery. I wouldn't be out playing with my dogs before surgery.
Right.
And it feels really good to stop and acknowledge those moments for what they are, because
Right.
you have changed your life.
Yeah, you have to recognize that and kind of pat yourself on the back.
Sure.
You've done things to transform your life. And I commend you for that. You've done an amazing job.
Thank you.
We think the world of you. Tell me about something that you would never have considered before that now you're going to engage yourself in, something you're going to go do.
This spring, for my 1-year bariatric surgery anniversary, I'm going to go skydiving.
You're going skydiving. That's
am.
very exciting. Where are you going to do that at? Here in Oklahoma?
Mm-hmm. Here in Oklahoma.
Very good. Anything else that's on the horizon for you that you think you might want to tackle next?
I've been considering rock climbing classes. I've always wanted to do that, and I thought that'd be so fun.
Very good.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part, or what is your favorite part of the Bailey bariatric community?
My favorite part is how much support you get from the community. You're never alone throughout this entire process. If you have any questions or concerns, there's always someone who can answer them or help you. And not even someone at the clinic. We've got our support groups and
Right.
people who have had the surgery done. Just all the support from the community really helps.
Have you enjoyed participating in the bariatric support groups?
Yes, Dr. Kirk's always a lot of fun.
Dr. Kirk's a hoot.
Yes.
Yeah, he always is. Tell me about one of your experiences in that support group. What did you experience? What was it like for someone that's never been to one?
I think my first one was virtual. I don't know if we're still having.
Yeah, we're still doing them online because of COVID. Yeah.
So I was really nervous. I didn't know what to expect at first. And whenever you log in, it's just a really relaxed atmosphere. You're just having a conversation with normal people.
Right, right. And some of the people participating in each of the support groups are people like you that have been through the program and had their particular procedure. And then some of the people that are tuned in are starting the process, and they're joining a support group as a part of the program to kind of get familiar with it and become comfortable with doing that, right?
Right.
Very good. Again, I want to thank everybody that has tuned into this podcast. We appreciate you being there. If you have any questions or concerns, you can always reach out to me, Russell View. My direct number is 918-376-8421. I'm the bariatric liaison. And to start the program, you'd communicate with me. And again, Christina, we thank you so very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to spend a little time helping us. I appreciate you paying it forward like this.
Thank you. I'm honored.